Greetings, my fellow viewers. Today I'll be speaking to you about the will in terms of desiring to achieve anything or wanting to accomplish a certain thing or achieve something with your life. With it might be you want a better job, you want to become a better person, you want to respond to situations better than you do at the current moment, you want to have a lot of chankora like everyone and stuff like that. There are many ways and many things that you have to take into consideration. That you I learned that you have to have or obtain in terms of to get whatever it is that you want. I learned this from my own experiences and also from other people because there are many people that have walked with this path and put it in the book and their own perspective of how they actually made it and what they went through during the process. So there are some things that you would find that could be of use to myself, that I do find that could be of use to myself, and then I find that they're worth sharing sometimes, then I decide to share them with you and then have my own self as what you call it, as an instrument that will share life itself in general of what it seems to be or what it is. So enough of that, let me get back to the will. What the will is, it's basically you have to have the heart for what you want to do. If I'm mentioning or speaking of the heart, I mean when you decide that you want to achieve a certain thing, or can you decide that you're going to head this path with your life, or your life is going to head this path, it does not only end there whereby you just decide it's going to happen. There are certain decisions that you have to take in order to keep on going that path, because there's this that I know for sure. In where you are at the current moment, what you've achieved, what you've maintained, or what you've managed to have with your life, your intellectuality, yourself as a person, and what you've achieved out of yourself and what yourself has become throughout these years, it is because of decisions that you've made in the past years up until this moment. So your decisions, your previous decisions, its fruits are you today. So in whatever it is that you want, if you want something to achieve a certain thing, if you want to grab something with your own hands, or want to be successful and have millions and billions like I do, and want a lot of money and achieve the greatest and be the greatest influential person that has ever been in this world, or change people's lives and make sure that this world does not remain the same after you have been here. So there are certain things that you have to do. Having a will get to a point whereby it will take you to a stage whereby you will have to make decisions each and every day. When you decide that you want to achieve a certain thing, there are certain things in life or decisions that you will have to take that are going to have to go in accordance to what you said you want to achieve with your life. So every day there are decisions that have to be taken by you that are in the same path as what you want to achieve. And we don't always make those right decisions to lead us into that same path. Some days we'll be like, okay, no, man, today let me not, let me just procrastinate a bit. Or you just decide to shift it, do it tomorrow, and then you don't do it that day. As much as you might think you have postponed that decision to be taken on a later stage, it's not the case. You have actually taken a decision by not taking a decision, which means you have taken a decision by default. So when you make a decision about this, that you should have made the decision now, you're going to not be making it on this point. You're going to be making it from another point, because that point you already made a decision by default. So it's that way. So in achieving something, you must have a will. A will is something that contains that like, it's more like a blinders, if I may say, whereby they're just going to stick to they're gonna keep in line, they're gonna keep your decisions in line with what you want. Every time you make a decision, you will make a decision, and that decision has to be in line with what you want. And the only thing that's gonna keep your decisions in line with what you want is a will. which is I want to become a better person. That is for me. I want to become a better person. I've seen myself. I don't know how I may put it, but I've dig down and realized I've seen deeper things in me and things that I didn't think that I was capable of. Now that I've managed to experience those with myself and see myself doing other things that I never thought I could do, I'm at a stage whereby I want to know, what else can I do? What else can I achieve? What else can I obtain? What else can I practice in ending up being a habit for me? So those are the things. Those are the things that have the main background or core of them has been will. How much do you want it? The reason I keep on being this type of a person that I am today and keep on wanting to make a difference in each and every person's life that I encounter, it is because of the person I was before now. It is because of the things and the decisions that I've made in my past that I was unsatisfied with. It is because of the way that I presented myself in public, individually to other people, that I was not satisfied with. I didn't feel like, okay, as much as I might have done this has actually made that person happy. This I did, then this situation, it ended up making this happen and stuff like that. I got back to a point whereby, as much as I was making sure other people are happy and stuff like that and pleasing other people, I was forgetting the main thing, the main person, me. Because in any case and anyhow that you want to become or want to be a better person, you first, because you will end up desiring what you give to other people to return to you. And then with expectations of them reacting or giving the same way that you did, without a clear and broader understanding of what you're doing. When you first do it to yourself in the love that you want to give, you first give it to yourself. It's much more easier to give it to other people and to understand other people when they're not giving the same love that you expect them to give. Because now you're giving love to yourself. Giving love to yourself will make you know, or can you make you understand your morals or principles or values that you live by better. Because now for a fact, when you love yourself, you will know who you are. And when you know who you are, you know what your morals and your principles and what you live by and what you want to achieve with your life and what you want out of you and what would you like you to be and how would you like to present yourself to other people? How would you like to present yourself in public? How would you like to respond to certain situations? Once you get to those points, when you love yourself, you do get to those points. And when you get to those points, those things, those form your will. They make up and craft that solid will of yours, that no matter the weather, the storm, whatever that comes your way, you're going to keep pushing towards this. Because what you have been in the past, and what you have experienced with the decisions that you made in the past that are not the decisions that you're making now, because you've changed the decision. Because the decisions, as I've said, the decisions that you made in the past these are the fruits. You today, the person that I am today, are the fruits of the decisions that I made in my past. So if I want a better person, if I want a better Luvo out of this that I have, that I am now, I will have to make different decisions. And different decisions will require me to do things differently. To have different habits, to have different things. And those things that I did not usually do, I normally put it this way for people to understand. It's much more easier to push a moving trolley than a standing one. Because when it stands, you have to first gain momentum and keep it. And then when you gain momentum, it's harder because it's standing, the whole weight is there. But when it's moving, it has momentum. It's much more easier to push it. So when you have these core principles and all these that have made you into the organic that you have made into a will, for instance, what I've mentioned and what I've made as a will, those things that I've been through, those things that I've experienced, the person that I've been, how I've interacted with other people, how I would love to have been better in a certain situation. I mean, I would have loved to have been a better lover, better partner, better friend, better brother, or responded differently in certain situations. So I took analysis of everything that I know for a fact that I could do better here. I could. This does not satisfy me. This does not make me happy whilst it's being done by me. So that's what at some point got me frustrated, was the fact that there are things that I am doing as an individual and yet I'm not satisfied with those actions that I am doing. So I ended up asking myself, if it's me doing this, why am I not so satisfied about them? So if I'm not satisfied about them, what is it that I would love to do and be satisfied by? And then I started to do those things. But when you start to do those things that you are satisfied by, that give you self-fulfillment, it's not gonna be easy, because at some point, in some way, you have not been doing them. This is the first time, or some way, somehow you've done it in your past, but you somewhere let go and now you're doing it again, which means you're back to square one. You're pushing a standing trolley. The thing that will keep you going even when the trolley seems not to move, even when the trolley seems like you're using too much energy to move it, and yet it's moving too little. The energy that you're putting into it, it's not equivalent towards the result that you're getting. It is the will that will keep you pushing the trolley up until it gets the momentum that you desire out of it. The basics of this conversation that I'm having with you, it is a will is what will keep you, and a will is why we are not getting the things that we want, is why we are not achieving what we want with our lives, with whatever that we desire to have and wanted to have. It is because we don't have the will to achieve it. If you would have a will that would say, hell no, high waters, no nothing, whatever comes my way, I am going to achieve this, I am going to do that. When storms come your way, and then when you face challenges and face tribulations or face problems in this process, again, in this journey that you are in, this is what will keep you. Why you started, why you're here. This is what keeps me. Why I am here. I always look back, not even look back, but I always take that person and that person that I was and how I was feeling about myself as that person, and what I desire as that out of myself, and what this person has known about me up until this point, and I know that I can be more, because this that I am, I never thought I could be 2 years back. So meaning that when you push and push and push the trolley, it moves, and suddenly all you have to do is just to get up, because it becomes a habit. It becomes what you do every day. It becomes part of your norms. It becomes you, whatever you're practicing. And every time you're able to make something a habit and make something consistent, be consistent in something, you will always find another thing where you will be like, you've moved from this step to that step, and then now all of a sudden it's more like lifting weights, and then your body gets used to that, and then you all of a sudden you're used to that. You will step here and look like, okay, what's next? And then you want to move on the next one, which means you basically become a better person each and every time. But the one thing that we have to be careful of during the process of becoming anything that we want to be in this life, it is the process of becoming whatever it is that you want to become, which means the decisions that you make within the process of becoming. There are decisions when you say you want to become, for instance, you want to become a billionaire, and then you will have to do some certain things that will not be entirely you. Okay, they would not represent you entirely as a person. Okay, as who you are, they would not speak you, those decisions. And then that's when you will have to bring in your will, and your will carries your principles, your morals, who you are, your values, the love you have for yourself, all that stuff. It's carried within your will. So when you bring in your will at that time, your will tell you, I am Lovo, I am the son of God, I am a billionaire, I'm heading this way, and this way I'm becoming a better person. I want to have multiple businesses, I want to be known internationally, I want to be known worldwide, I want what I'm saying to you to be known by people who cannot even speak my own mother tongue. So it comes to that point whereby, why are you doing this? And I normally say this when I have a conversation with other people, that I realized, as much as I might want to say other things and just not say other things that might make other people feel bad, even though I know for a fact this that I want to say, I feel fully right by saying, okay, this is the right thing to say, because I believe in love, I believe in forgiveness, I believe in being God-like. That's my main theme, okay, my main, if I may put it, it's the core of my being, is being God-like, being like God, because I don't believe there's any person, I've never met any person that is like God, that is loving like God, that is kind like Him, that is all that I want to be like Him. So I'm always working into becoming the best that I can be, because I know for a fact I am the only person that can be like me, the way I am, the way I can be like me. You can do you in your own way, but it's not, that's how we are as humans. We're so unique in our own way, to such a point that the limits to you, nobody knows, not even yourself except God. So when you set a limit, or when you say I cannot do a certain thing, it is you setting your own limits toward yourself. It's not that you can't do it, but you cannot expect to do something the same way the other person did it, whilst you know for a fact you are not as the other person. You are not the same person as the other person, which means you don't experience things the same way as the other person experiences things. You don't react to things the same way as the other person reacts to things. Your logic is not crafted in the same way the other person uses, because you have not born in the same place. You have had different experiences. You have had multiple different things to encounter in life that are totally different from another person. And besides that, you as an individual, as a creation itself, are born uniquely. There's a thing that I heard, that even twins, this design of their eye, the inside design of their eye, it's unidentical even to twins, which basically means that every person has their own design. This inside part of the eye has their own design. So every person is their own person in their own way. So if you just accept you, love you, show love to yourself, that way it's much more easier to show love to other people, and have a will. Be sure of what you want and why you want it. If whatever you have been wanting to do and you've never actually got up and pursued it, it is because it's not worth it enough. There's, lastly, before I leave you, there's a story of a dog, of a friend that actually, it's about a dog. The friend was visiting another friend of his, and this friend that he was visiting, he actually bought a new house. So this friend that actually bought a new house was showing around this friend the new house. So along the way of showing the new friend, the other friend, the new house, this friend that actually bought this house had a dog, and the dog had actually stepped on a nail. So the nail was literally going through its feet. And the other guy, was asking this guy who actually bought the house, why is this dog crying? And then he explained that this dog actually stepped on in a needle. And this guy was asking, why don't it actually move from that needle, because it was not too deep. It could just take out and just pull out its feet out of the needle. The guy's response was that it's not painful enough. The day it becomes painful enough, it will know when to move its feet. It will move its feet from that nail. So in essence, that's the basics. Love you. Peace.